Hey, what's up? What's up, YouTubers? How y'all doing today? So, it's been a while. It's been some time. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you've been watching over all these years, excuse me, I'm a little sick. It took me 72 hours to get all this set up. Like, this is kind of my bedroom, and I got this other cam right here in my hand. Got this camera up here, got this lighting set up that's just crazy, all these cool little gadgets. But I've been wanting to share for years all the different smart tech that I use for my health and my heart and my weight management and reducing things like diabetes or metabolic disease or heart disease, things like familial hypocholesterolemia, which is like genetic high cholesterol, stuff like heart rhythm, heart like tachycardia, heart like irregular heartbeats. I was born with one. I also have a predisposition to high cholesterol. I also was a smoker and don't do that anymore. But long story short, it's been almost 8 years since I did that smart mirror. And just an update on the smart mirror, it's back over here right now, just hanging out. Sorry you can't hear me too well. I forget that I'm on this mic over here, but I'm probably going to make this my main video just for now and pin it at the top of the channel because it's been so long, and this is like an updated video that's really cool. And so I'm going to attach another video to it with a screencast, which is basically where I'm going to be sharing my screen, not the just camera alone, but the actual screen on my phone, so I can show you guys how to use some of the apps and the ways I've been using them, because I was able to successfully get my heart rate down from the high 70s, my resting heart rate, to right now it's sitting around 66, 65, the mid 60s. But it took a lot of work, and I've been working remote, at home the whole time, and so I've had to go exercise, and I've exercised hundreds of days, maybe 1,000, but it's been since 2021 where I started to dedicate 5 to 6 days a week working out, and I lowered that down to about 3 to 4 now because I'm getting too old. I'm 40, turning 40 next month, and so all the millennials out there, all the guys, the younger guys, anybody that's watching this, thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Thank you so much for all the likes and just sharing of my content, because honestly it's the reason why I'm still doing this. And so if this helps somebody, just one person out there, it makes a huge difference to me, because I have no idea until I actually put this content out there if it's useful, if you guys like it, the form of it, or if it's just should be unscripted, or if you want something organized, detailed, or if you just want something sloppy, and not sloppy but scrappy, where you're just putting stuff together, working with what you got, because that's kind of what I'm doing all the time. So anyways, I just wanted to say thank you and drop a appreciation to all the people that watch and support my channel over the years, because it's been so important to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this out here. I'm just going to block my face out and kind of move that around, so don't mind me. But yeah, so the first thing I have here is a Withings. It's a body composition scale. I don't know how accurate the body composition is on it, and exactly the algorithm behind it, but what it is, it's a weight scale. So you stand on it, and then basically it comes on, and it'll tell you your body fat, your water percentage, your lean, fat-free muscle mass, and then your overall body weight. So I wanted something to help me measure my body composition to make sure I was basically not getting fatter, but at the same time not getting skinnier too and losing all that muscle. So that was important to me. So Withings is really cool. They've also got a blood pressure meter, and sorry that it's hard to see this here, but this blood pressure meter basically it reads your blood pressure and your heart rate, and doesn't have quite an EKG built in it. If you're looking for things with like heart rhythm or irregular heartbeats, stuff like that, if you have issues with like a fluttering heart, whatever, a palpitating heart, I guess. I'm not a doctor, okay? So this video is my own opinion and my own experiences. So take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, don't take my word for it. You always want to consult a doctor, a physician, or like an exercise personal trainer, physiologist, somebody certified or has a degree of some sort, you know, because science-based, you know, health and nutrition is obviously the most important thing, but also you always want to consult your doctor or, you know, your healthcare provider if you're going to pursue a new you know, exercising routine or nutrition, all that stuff, because I'm not a nutritionist, and a lot of this stuff that I fixed too was the result of like exercise and nutrition, obviously. But this is great. It's Bluetooth. The charge lasts forever, like years. It's at 78%, and I think I charged it like a year ago. So this is something that not a lot of people know, but you know, some people are going to be out there thinking like this is common sense, but it's not. So you always want to make sure when you get any of these smart electronics at all, even if it's something in a car, whatever, has a charge cord that comes with it, always use the original charge cord that comes with it, because these charge cords, they have different ratings, different outputs, different voltages basically, which is the current. And the other thing is too is the like the amount of power it's delivering. If you have a cord that's too small and it's trying to charge something, it may overheat the batteries trying to charge because it takes forever to charge it. And on the flip side, if it's too big, it could overcharge, or it can charge something too fast and wear that battery down quicker. So I don't charge my stuff at all until it gets really low, and then I try to basically reduce the amount of, they're called like charge recharge cycles. So just a neat little tip, if anybody has issues with electronics only lasting like a year or two because the batteries, try that out, because always use the original cords, and then when I charge them, I usually hook them up to, if it's like a smaller type cable where it only needs 500 milliamps, I use it like a computer or like a laptop to charge. If you have the chargers in the walls or the fast chargers, those are 2 amp, and so you just want to make sure that you're putting all the right pieces together, because you don't want to prematurely kill it. So that leads me to this, the Fitbit. This is a Fitbit Versa 2. And it's pretty sweet, but at the same time, I think this is my 5th or 6th one. And I think that this is another big tip. If you guys want to get smart trackers, they're great. There's so many of them though, and for some reason it's like all these big box companies like Google bought over Fitbit, and they're turning towards these like smart watches, smart devices like the Samsung Galaxy Watch or like the Apple Watch, where they have a phone built in on them as well. I mean, this thing, when it was Bluetooth, it made it originally to where you could text from it, and like I think you could answer your calls from it, but you couldn't use it like to talk. But it was really cool when it first came out, and then something happened and the features just reduced. The premium sucks. Their premium plans, I wouldn't pay for it. It's not very personal, and they had some algorithms and stuff that they've updated to it, and apparently it's supposed to be better, but you only get the cool stuff if you have the premium, apparently. Well, at least in one of the latest articles I read. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. What I'd worry about more is like Fitbit staying alive and the app actually operating for the next few years at least, because I've been using it for about 6 years now, since 2019, 5 years, but I also used it for a few years back in 2015. So it breaks a lot, and that's the thing, is if you sweat, you want to make sure you can buy one of these bands. It's like a third-party band off of Amazon, because they're stupid little watch bands. The one that I have on now, these ones itch if you don't wash them all the time, and but look at how much more exposed it is, and it can break. So you can get these like custom watches that are watch covers and watch wraps that are better than what's basically the standard. Sorry, that came on for a second there. So this is huge because it doesn't just measure your heart rate, it measures other things too, like your steps, and it calculates the calories burned and all that. But some people don't believe in thermogenic, like, you know, metabolism and stuff like that. Other people believe it's kind of chemical process, but ultimately, if you go by calories in, calories out, or any of that stuff, it's got that in here, so it's kind of helpful to tell you how many calories you're burning. But also it tells you your resting heart rate, your heart rate when you're working out, and you can put your exercise logs in. So I use it for tracking all of my exercise and to make sure that I keep on top of that, but at the same time that I'm not over exercising. But It also measures your SpO2, which is your oxygen levels, and it measures your heart rate variability now, which is the measurement of milliseconds in between the heart beats. It's not the resting heart rate, but the larger, like 100 milliseconds, is really good. It means that your heart dilates and fills up with blood more, relaxes more, and it's not hardening everywhere, but like I said, just take it with a grain of salt because I'm not a doctor. Uh, Speaking of crazy stuff, I mean, my last doctor told me I was a freak, and he told me I was a freak because he said I reminded him of his dad, because his dad ate yogurt, plain yogurt for dessert, and I was just like, man, I'm not that bad. I'll still have some, almond milk ice cream or something dairy free, with some sugar in it, but I'm not that bad. But lately I've been staying away from as many packaged foods as possible. But this is a Bluetooth EKG, and it's by Cardia. And the EKG tells you, like, if your heart rate, like your heart is fluttering, or you know what I mean, like if your heart is actually like irregular heart rate, like you have tachycardia is what it's called, I believe, when you have a fast heart rate. But there's other types out there too. So like I said, don't take my word for it. But I just know because I was born with an irregular heartbeat, which it went away, I think, as I got older. But like I said, it's I try to keep on top of this stuff because if your heart starts to not work properly, then all the blood to your muscles and your organs and all that stuff. But at the same time, cholesterol and all the other stuff is kind of hand in hand. It goes along with it. So I have all of these to tell me basically if my heart is healthy or how healthy it's been getting. And so the second part of this video, I'm going to try to insert a screencast where it shows my screen on my phone so I can show you guys how these apps work and how I'm also using Google Fit with all of these, because you can sync. Basically there's different partners with Fitbit, Withings, and Cardia, and with Google Fit, and you can use it's called Health Connect. I don't know why everybody's viewing that video so much of mine about Health Connect with I think people probably having issues integrating or trying to sync up things with the Fitbit app. And the thing is like, if you're using your phone, for instance, you could use your phone with Google Fit, which I'm holding on to right now, and your phone, it can track your steps, so you have to like turn off some of the things with these. So like with my resting heart rate, I don't want that with this app, with Withings, to feed over if it's coming also from Fitbit, because it gets confused. But this doesn't do heart rate variability or EKG, and so that's what kind of this is for. But this also measures your beats per minute, so you want to make sure that you don't have that because you already have that in here. And this also has beats per minute too, because it's a blood pressure meter, but these are totally different. Like this one's making sure there's not too much pressure in your system, so to speak. You don't want a piston blowing. But this one here is making sure things are in rhythm, like the timing belt and distributor and the sparks and all the injectors, that they're all firing in a synchronicity like they're supposed to. So there's it's much more complicated than that, obviously, but the thing is I wanted to make sure when I was exercising that I wasn't hurting my heart and that I was getting healthier. And so when I go in and get my blood pressure read, I haven't had consistent high blood pressure since around 2010, because I read a few books on it as soon as it happened. And basically from that point on, I was able to pretty much learn about it, and found out that I was running short on a potassium. I was running low on potassium, which for some reason, that's another trending topic right now. You guys tell me, I don't really know. But it's, let me set that right there. It's a crazy thing, all the information that's out there today, and what to learn. And like a lot of people don't know that like your blood pressure, like the potassium is an electrolyte, because some people aren't getting enough potassium and they're getting too much sodium, and so there's a ratio and a balance to that as well too. And not just that, it's just that there's a lot more that goes into it. You can get your potassium from potatoes and avocados, and you can get it from whole food sources instead of supplementing it, when in reality, like your kidneys, I believe, in your renal system, I believe they regulate your heart rate. And so it's not necessarily your heart sometimes is the issue. And so like you have to look at it from all these different elements, you know. If you have sudden weight loss that's unexpected, and like you lose a lot of muscle, something could be going on there. Like you might be going through some, you know, hormone or thyroid issues or something. Fatigue, androgenic, I don't know, like or androgen, like your you know, there's so many different elements. So anyways, point being, these are the different devices I use, and I'm going to show you guys the apps that I use here next. So I apologize if the video editing is terrible after this, and if the mic is bad, because this is my first shot at it after I got everything set up, got my computers all updated, and my next video is actually going to be reviving the smart mirror, because the SD card, the hard drive on it, basically, that it went bad. You know, SD cards, they just do that, just like a solid state hard drive does. So again, before I go over to that video, I just wanted to say thank you to all of my followers. I know that the majority of you are pretty close to me in age. You know, you're either 10 or 20 years younger or 10 years older. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for following, and I hope you like this content, and just kind of wanted to talk to you as a person and share with you what I've done to improve my health while working full time and not changing much other than just my routines and the food that I was eating, and monitoring it with all these metrics, because we won't even get into the other stuff, but like the muscle gain and how I measure, like when I gain muscle in certain areas, because that's where I just pull out this bad boy right here. Because if you're trying to change the shape of your body, not just the composition, you got to increase, you know, your lagging body parts, whether it's your, you know, your arms, or it's your shoulders, or your chest, or if your waist, you want to make it smaller, you need to get your legs bigger and your shoulders wider, and that's, you know, some of that's genetic. But anyways, that's another story for another day. I have another YouTube channel that I'll share where I go over just fitness tips and stuff like that too. But again, we're going to switch over and I'm going to show you these apps now. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for watching. So the Withings body composition scale and the Withings blood pressure meter. So in here you can see it's got some of my heart rate stuff and my steps. That's because not only can you feed all your data from one app to another, but you can go backwards too. So the data from my Fitbit app comes over to the Withings app, because I thought it'd be cool if I had multiple different data sets in different areas to kind of see what they came up with, to see if I found anything cool. You can see here, this is when I did the body composition scale and my weight. I'm down a little bit, but I'm doing pretty good. And you can see my workouts are in here as well too. But like I said, this also has the blood pressure meter. And so when you go into, I think it's in this measure one here, and I go down a little further, yeah, you can see my blood pressure that I took recently, which that's not bad. It's usually below that, but it's hardly up over 130 or 140. So these days it's really good, like I said before. And I'm gonna just show you guys the other apps. So I can't show you the Cardia app because it blacks out and it doesn't show me the app when I try to go into it for privacy reasons. So we're actually going to go into the Fitbit app first, okay, because that one has so much data in there too. Now this is probably the most useful, and this is why I love Fitbit so much, is because you can track stuff going back years and years and years. Now this is important because I told you guys earlier that I had lowered my my heart rate down quite a bit in the last, you know, few years, and you can see here in 2024 it's kind of was doing real good around May, June, and then it shot back up, and but last year it was 70, and this year it's 65, and the year before it was 71, and then the year before that it was 74, and then the first year I had the full year was 75. So I've almost dropped it 10 points, and that was the very first year, but I did have more data going back further, though. I wanted to share this with you because, like, you have to like import data, and like I don't even want to mess with the importing of the data back in 2015, so I just started using it regularly after 2019. So anyways, in here as well, when you go to the 5 of 5 in range, you got things like your heart rate variability, your breathing rate, Like I said, your oxygen, your SpO2 saturation, skin temperature, and resting heart rate. And all of these are really cool because you can trend them out and you can see when they're up or down, and you can see if they're in or out of the averages to tell if any of them are rising or lowering. A lot of these things can help. Like I've noticed my temperature goes way up and my SpO2 went way down, and my breathing rate actually went up a bunch, and it was when I was getting sick about a year and a half ago now, in the beginning of 2023. And so it's pretty good, and I wouldn't say it's 100% like accurate, the Fitbit, but I would say that like it's got to be around at least 80% accurate in a lot of these like metrics, I would imagine, just looking at it. But I've got my sleep duration, so I can tell, because I found out it was a combination of things. While my resting heart rate was so high, it was exercise, nutrition, and sleep, because when you're resting and you're in your REM, your heart actually, and when it's in rest and digest mode and not flight or fight, it slows down, and that's why your heart rate variability, when it's higher, it means you have less beats per minute, which means you have a lower heart rate, which means that you have a lower resting heart rate, which means that it's better, you know. And so when you sleep, all those things kind of move in that direction. And so sleep is so important, and I try to always get at least 6 hours, but I don't usually get more than 9 or 10. And I exercise, like I said, right now I'm doing like probably 3 to 5 days a week. But you can see here, this month I've done 16, 21, so I do about 3 to 4, 4 to 5 a day. Sorry, I've got a cat. And but last year there was many more days where I was exercising. 26 right before I moved, 26, 24. So I was exercising basically 4 to 5 days at least a week. And but anyways, I'm going to move on from here. I don't know what that is, where it says some data might be missing. What the deal is with this app has been shifting so much since the Google takeover, I think. That's interesting. What is this? Oh, this is about Health Connect, and like I said, it's the integration that's used to send data back and forth between all these apps. I think it's Android or something like that. I don't know who owns it, but I mean, I'm imagining Google and Android. But anyways, other than that, like I said, you also have the heart rate variability, and those you get from the top trends up here, but it's just more you use this for spotting, and it also has a built-in feature on the heart rate to make sure that you don't have any well, there's an algorithm that tries to detect if you have any kind of issues with your heart rate, and that's a specific setting that basically, I think it's somewhere over here. Okay, so to get to the Health Connect, you go up to your device in the top left, and then you hit that. But you see here, you can also add your phone with the app to track your health and fitness with your phone. But if you have a Fitbit, obviously you wouldn't want to do that. So just a little tip. But you can see here where it shows the data from Health Connect. You have to change this over to be able to kind of do a handshake back and forth. And then in the access, you can see in here where it's got all these different apps, and then there's Fit. And it shows how they're working together, and you can see where the Withings is sending data from the body composition or from the blood pressure meter. And then like I said, if you have Cardia integrated as well, it's one of those other things where, you know, it just depends on where you want to send stuff. And like some people, you're going to want to keep some of your devices inside of the actual app itself, and other things you're going to want to try to sync things together because it might be more powerful and easy for you to identify trends. So anyways, we're going to go into this last bonus app here for Google Fit, because this is what I was talking about. If you turn off your phone activity, you can sync your Fitbit activity over to Google Fit. And if you ever need to use this, basically you go into here where you go to browse, and you can go to your vitals in here, and you can see where it's got my my heart rate, resting heart rate. It depends on what you have synced up to it ultimately, but it gets pretty much all the same metrics passed over from the Fitbit, and there's different algorithms as well too. And you can see there's recommendations and heart points and stuff like that. So, you know, whatever app you want to use, you can use Fitbit or Google Fit. But I would keep in mind that if you're going to use Fitbit, they might not be around forever, and maybe using Google Fit might be a better idea right now, in the meantime at least. So anyways, that was what I wanted to show everybody today, and I hope you guys really liked this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content.